Just make me look smart. Alright, hi guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video. It's gonna be a bit different today. Again, I want to make a video about university, specifically about university in the United Kingdom and England in particular, because I remember when I was applying, I was looking for videos like this and I couldn't find any on YouTube. So if you're like currently applying, or if you know that you're going to be starting university soon, then this video is for you. Especially if you want to go to England. I'm in London, currently in England. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about the application process, and then freshers, and then obviously like just academia, studying modules at university, and then like just work-life social balance as well. Basically, the application process, if you're applying in the UK, I know that it is one personal statement that you have to submit, and that means that you can't choose courses that are like completely different. So try and make sure that like all the courses that you're applying for at the different universities are all like in the same domain, same subject basically. And don't wait till the last minute, apply early, and obviously make sure you do your research on all the different courses you want to apply to. So for instance, for me, I was applying to different political science courses across the UK. And a good tip for your personal statement is obviously to go into the university's course description and use some keywords from that course description in your personal statement. That way, when the university admissions administrator reads your application, they're like, oh, this student did their research, they looked up the program, they know exactly what they want, and you know, they're a good candidate. With your personal statement, just get straight to the point. Don't make it too sappy and too like, oh, like I grew up in a war-torn country type of thing. Even if you did, like just get straight to the point, like, oh, I like these topics for this reason. This is how my past experiences in life kind of tied to this topic, and this is why I want to study it, and then my future career aspirations are this and this, and I feel that in order for me to attain these career aspirations, studying a degree in whatever subject will give me the tools in order to do so. Like, you know, your typical bullshit in any cover letter or personal statement type thing. So awesome, you got into college, congratulations, sort of. And you make it to, you know, England, and it's freshers. So freshers is like basically the first few weeks, it's just a load of partying, and it's very interesting. It's a bit weird, it's a bit gross, it's very unhygienic. Basically, so you're gonna be staying in halls, right? In your first year. Halls is basically the English version of dorms if you're American or Canadian. So yeah, essentially you're like either sharing a room with someone or sharing a flat with someone, sharing toilets with people, sharing a kitchen with people. So a lot of the friends you're gonna make at the beginning are just because you live with them and you're kind of just stuck in that same environment. And if you're lucky like me, you will make friends that will last you throughout your degree. Nora and Victoria, James Lighthill squad, if you're watching this, I'm talking about you. So luckily for me, I did make a few friends through halls, which is amazing. And then you'll also make friends with people that you go out with in freshers. Unfortunately for me, I didn't stay friends with these people just because I'm not the going out type. And then you'll also be making friends through your course as well. So for freshers, don't go crazy and buy all these wristbands like before coming to uni, because you want to like meet people first and then together decide on which events to go to. Yeah, some will be sold out, but there's so many parties, like you're bound to be able to go to one of them. One, two, they're all kind of the same. Like they're all gonna claim that they're the best party. They're all the same. They're all trashy. Everyone gets paralytic drunk. It's a bit gross. Yeah, and it's expensive because, well, I mean, for me it was expensive because obviously it was central London. So yeah, freshers is just a blur. I don't remember much of it. I just remember that it was like intense. That's one way to put it. Done with freshers, and now into the actual serious stuff, academia, studying. So personally for me, university academia-wise was very easy. Like it was actually a walk in the park for two main reasons. Number one, I was in a French high school. The French system is brutal. I remember in high school, my final year, like for all my exams, we had 12 exams. I had to take exams for 12 different subjects. We had to learn the entire year's curriculum like off by heart because they love it when you would just regurgitate all this information. Anyways, yeah, that was awful. And then I came to uni and I was like, oh, you take like 3 or 4 modules per term. It's like a couple of tests or a couple of essays per term, and like I barely had contact hours. So that like shift from being like go to being at university, that was why it was easy for me, relatively speaking, but also because my course was a joke. Like honestly, if you're gonna go into study like neuroscience or like physics or medicine, then like you know, have fun, good luck. But yeah, so that's kind of why for me it was a walk in the park. I was lucky. And obviously I didn't just, you know, not do any work. Of course I did, but I just did the minimum that would get me a 2-1. So the grading system is out of 100. If you get more than 70, it's a first. That's like prestigious and like you're a genius. Between 60 and 70 is a 2-1, and that's also what I aimed for because that was just like still really good. And I always managed to, you know, get 2-1s in all my assessments, and that's what I graduated with recently. So yeah. And then I would recommend also when choosing your modules, try and space them out evenly. Don't take like 7 modules in term 1 and then 1 module in term 2 because you will die in term 1. Make sure you just like make it at like 4 modules and then 4 modules in each term. That way it's like balanced and you're not ever gonna be like overworked, if that makes sense. So that's basically modules. If you're lucky, your course will let you choose your modules, but I know that in some courses, some modules are mandatory. If you're going into uni like stressing about grades, please don't. It really doesn't matter that much, and you want to be able to branch out and do things for yourself, and that's basically what I did. Like throughout my time at university, I found my passion for fitness. I became a personal trainer. I also worked part-time at a donut shop. I also did other jobs. I did sampling. I did like this online thing, and yeah, at my busiest I was working 4 jobs while studying, and I managed to do it and still get good grades and earn a decent amount of money. Basically the way I did this was I had to have an effective task management tool and then also a time management tool. So my task manager is my bullet journal, and the way I set up my bullet journal is at the start of every month I do a monthly calendar with all my deadlines, events, and birthdays. That way I just have like an overview of that month and what's coming up. I also have a habit tracker where I don't want to write certain things in my to-do list every single day. They're just habits that I should be doing every day anyway, so I put them all in that tracker to keep myself accountable throughout the month. I also set myself some like monthly targets or monthly goals, and I track my income and expenses on a monthly basis as well. And then in my bullet journal I do my daily to-do list. So this is where I just write down everything that needs to be done that day. Writing things down just makes my to-dos more tangible, and it makes me like, I don't know, I just don't like leaving boxes unticked, so I make sure that every day I try and tick as many boxes as I can. And this also ensures that I don't forget to do anything, because sometimes if you have your to-dos in your head and not on paper, you can forget a couple things. So that is my task manager, and then hand in hand with that I use a time management system. I use Google Calendar. You can use any calendar you want. I just like the interface of Google Calendar, if I'm being honest. So I would allocate time for literally everything. I would look at my to-do list and then allocate time for the hardest tasks first early on in the day, because if you get your harder tasks done early on in the day, like say you have to write an essay, get that done first because it is a priority. It kind of sets the tone for the rest of the day. You feel fulfilled from early on, and everything else just seems a lot easier to do. And then make sure you allocate time for literally everything. So classes, exams, revision time, jobs, going out with friends, meals if you're a hashtag bodybuilder like me. And yeah, so Google Calendar was literally a godsend, and I used to color code it too because it was really fun. So that is basically how I managed my time. Honestly, yeah, I was busy and chronically stressed, but you know, it did pay off. I met so many people throughout my degree, not only at university but also mainly throughout my jobs, and like I'm just so happy that I was able to branch out and not just be study in university like I was in high school, because I would have missed out on so many life opportunities. And I think the biggest challenge for me, I get asked this a lot, the biggest challenge for me at university was just writing essays, because it was so different from what I was used to back in high school. Because in high school, the essays you would write, you would just have to regurgitate loads of information. But in university, you have to like take all the information that you've learned throughout the module and then make an argument and then develop your argument in several points in an essay. And I've developed a foolproof method to write essays that I'm gonna give you guys right now, because I just needed to write them as quickly as possible because I had so much to do, right? So the key here is do your readings and take your damn notes. Guys, I know that like you might think, oh, the readings are so useless. Do the fucking readings, take your fucking notes. Like, it will save your life when it comes to both essays and exams. So let's say throughout the course of an entire module, I did all my readings and I took notes on a Word document. When I take my notes on readings, I make sure I use my own words to avoid plagiarism. plagiarism, and I also put in any references in my notes before even thinking about an essay. That way when I use my notes later on to write an essay, I don't have to go back to the original paper to dig and find those references. It will change your life, guys, if you take note of the references from the beginning, okay? So throughout the module, throughout the term, I'm taking notes on all these papers, you know, week by week. I just do all the assigned readings, and then I have everything like sorted in folders in my computer. Then at the end of the term, the essay questions come out. I get to choose one essay question, and I have, let's say, like a month to write it. So I pick my essay question, and then I go back to that folder and I dig all the papers that are relevant to this essay question that are gonna help me, you know, answer the question at hand. So once I have all those notes open, I'm like, okay, these are the papers, these are the notes that I'm gonna be using to write my essay. So what I do first, before even reading my notes, is I write an essay plan. Because once you've done all these notes and all these readings, you kind of do have knowledge on the topic, right? Off the top of your head, basic knowledge. So I'll draft a quick intro and bullet points, and then I will do subsections, typically 3 subsections depending on the essay. So I'll have subsections, and then I'll have a conclusion. Each subsection I will color code. So section 1 in red, 2 in blue, 3 in yellow, for example. And then I'm gonna go over all these notes that I have, take the red highlighter and highlight everything that has to do with subsection 1 of my essay, and copy and paste those notes into my essay draft document. So I'll do those for each subsection, and then I'll have a full draft. And then obviously, since I'm copy pasting my notes, you might think, isn't that plagiarism? It's not plagiarism, because when I took my notes, I used my own words to take notes, and then I have my references in there as well. So it can be plagiarized because A, it's my own words, B, if I'm still using the same idea as someone else, I have the reference in there, so it's not plagiarism. You know what I mean? So once that's done, I go over my draft 4 or 5 times. I'll develop my introduction, make it sound pretty, develop my conclusion, make it sound pretty, add bits and bobs to each subsection, and then like also remove irrelevant information. And I don't even have to worry about the word count, just because I literally copy pasted blocks of notes from those papers that I had read. And then at the end of that, I just send it to my mom so she proofreads it for me, and then I submit it. And I have never gotten less than a 2-1 on an essay. I have never spent more than a week on an essay. I have never submitted an essay late. I have never stressed out last minute about an essay because it was so close to the deadline, just because I did my readings every week. You will have friends that will make fun of you for doing your readings. Trust me. I had friends making fun of me for doing my readings, but it saved me in the long run because I had other shit to do. I had jobs to go to, and I had social events to go to, and I had weights to lift and food to eat. So yeah, that is my foolproof method for writing essays. I even got a few firsts on some essays that I literally put 0 effort into because I had all that preparation done throughout my term. So that is like my biggest tip if you're gonna be in a humanities subject, is do your readings, take your notes. I guess to wrap up this super long rambly video, like as scary as university might seem, you need to go into it like just accepting everything that comes along your way, and just accepting the fact that things are gonna change. You're gonna lose friends in the process. I lost so many friends when I started branching out and going more into like fitness and stuff, just because it's what I wanted out of my life. So although I did lose some friends, I also met so many new people that are now my closest friends that I love so much, and that, you know, support me in everything that I do. And I'm so grateful to have them in my life. And honestly, I'm so happy I did not go into university thinking that I had to be the best, because that was my mindset in high school, and I was the best in high school. But in university, there's so many people, you know, life's too short to try and be the best for a degree that's only gonna be like 3 years long, and that's not gonna serve you in the future. With all the jobs that I'm doing now and all the money I'm making now, my degree is useless, and I'm not using it in my life at all. But I do think university is an amazing opportunity for you to develop time management skills, and for you to branch out, and for you to just learn how to live by yourself if you're moving to a different country, like I did, for example. So yeah, guys, this pencil stayed in my hair the whole video. Yeah, I rambled a lot, I think. I don't know. Thank you guys so much for watching if you stuck to the end. I really enjoyed making this video, and it was nice for me to reflect on these past few years. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below, and if you have any suggestions for future videos, please do let me know what you'd like to see next. And until next time, guys, bye!